This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, a Dunedin magnolia tree has had its blossoming tracked for 25 years, producing data which might unearth some deeper trends. We visit the workshop of a Canterbury Bay fantasy and comic enthusiast, which is something of a marvel. And after a 2-year wait, a rural mid-Canterbury school has a new modern learning environment. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Simon Anderson. A Dunedin magnolia tree has had its blossoming tracked for 25 years, producing data which might unearth some deeper trends. However, University of Otago staff say they would need much more data to attribute its recent early blooming to climate change.
Looking back at his wall calendar from 1978, which was the first year Dr. John Williams made a note of when the magnolia tree started blooming outside his geology department office at the University of Otago.
I have a calendar, used to have a calendar in my office for 1978 with beautiful pictures of the the Teton range in America, and I turned it over every month. And one month, for some reason, I must have just been looking at the magnolia, and I wrote the date of the first flower opening on the calendar. So the following year, I presumably saw that and thought, oh, I wonder when it will open this year. And that's how it started.
Dr. Williams retired a few years ago, and nowadays observation has become more high-tech, and some staff and students bet when the first buds will open.
One of the technicians who knows about things like webcams has had a webcam on it around the opening time and has kept watch on it.
As this graph shows, the tree seems to be flowering half a month earlier than when records started 25 years ago. A university botanist has said much more information would be needed to make anything scientific from the data. The tree could be flowering earlier as it ages or grows taller, and it could be influenced by warmer air from changes in paving or building ventilation. Dr. Williams agrees there's not enough information to correlate earlier blooming with climate change.
There's not enough data points, and I think there's too many random, uncontrolled influences on the opening date, probably.
Even if it's not yielding good scientific data, Dr. Williams says it's still a great asset to the university's quadrangle.
A beautiful part of God's creation, and everybody looks at it and it just lights up the whole quadrangle, really.
The magnolia tree was planted in 1965 by then head of botany Dr. Jeff Bayliss and is now dedicated to his memory. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Former Ngāi Tahu Chief Executive Tahu Potiki died last night. He had a liver transplant in 2017 following a diagnosis of end-stage liver disease in 2014. Flags around Otipoti at half-mast today as a sign of respect to mark Tahu Potiki's passing. Otago Hapu, Te Runanga o Otako announced Mr Potiki's passing on their Facebook page last night, informing people of his death early in the evening. Dunedin Mayor Dave Cull has paid tribute to Potiki, praising his staunch yet mellow way of working with people, and his worship asked for flags to be lowered as a mark of respect. The flags at the railway station, civic centre and municipal chambers are at half-mast as a mark of respect for Tahu. Mayor Cull extended his deepest sympathies to Mr Potiki's whānau, friends and colleagues. It's understood a tangi is to be held at Otako Marae this weekend. The workshop of one Canterbury Bay fantasy and comic enthusiast is something of a marvel. Life-sized Batman and Iron Man suits and Stormtrooper masks fill the cramped workspace of Jason Connolly.
You've got to feel for cosplay fans at times. The knights of old had page boys to help them get into chainmail armour. It's a role being filled here by ODT reporter Jono Edwards. A nurse by day, Jason Connolly spends most of his spare time creating fantasy and science fiction models and costumes. He says the obsession began 6 or 7 years ago when he started working on an Iron Man suit.
6 years ago, and I just not stopped, and I just building Star Wars, Batman, Marvel type things out of different materials.
Connolly says he was a fan of comics as a kid, a passion which has continued into his adult life. He makes the suits from a wide variety of materials.
Yeah, this Batman Ninja is made out of carbon fibre. It took me maybe 4 months to make. This Spartan Batman is just foam, so it's a lot easier to work with, maybe 2 months to make it.
What began as a solo suit-making pursuit has grown. As he's discovered, there's a growing number of adults interested in fantasy and science fiction costumes.
Yeah, there is. A few years ago, there was only a couple of us, but that's increased over the years. And like I went to town yesterday and I bumped into a few people that I've met via this, and we talk about Batman, Superman on the street. And now there's about 200 people on the Dunedin Cosplay Cabal, which is a Facebook group.
There's an old cliche about selling coals to Newcastle, or in New Zealand's case, to Kaitangata. Jason Connolly's version is taking an orc from Lord of the Rings to the North Island and almost meeting Sir Peter Jackson.
I've been to Wellington in some of these. Peter Jackson, when I took this orc to Auckland for the final a few years ago, and Peter Jackson walked past and we had an orc in the box. And I wanted to say, Peter, we've got an orc in this box, but I didn't.
He says this hobby keeps him busy out of his work time.
I just like to have a project. I like to make things. I'm always happier if I've got projects on the go. I think about how to make things, how to get a nice finish.
His creations have won him awards, and he's become a regular at pop culture festivals like Armageddon and The Edge of the World. He says his wife is understanding of his passion, although not a really big fan. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The cruise ship season is expected to bring 130 ships and pump $66 million into Dunedin's economy this year. New Zealand Cruise Association Chief Executive Kevin O'Sullivan estimates the coming season will be 10% greater than last year's $60 million in passenger spending. Between this October and April 2020, the city is expected to host 130 ships, compared with 115 last season, lifting the number of passengers to 237,800. O'Sullivan says the cruise industry worldwide is changing to either lower emission fuel or scrubbers, which remove nitrogen and sulfates from the vessel's exhaust. There are also stricter rules concerning parking and registering to negate some issues the port had last season. Port Otago cruise manager Carolyn Bennett says the cruise industry in Dunedin continued to grow. It's been 2 years in the making, but a rural mid-Canterbury school has finally acquired its new modern learning environment classroom space. Hines School held the official opening of their new double-sized classroom last Friday, with staff, pupils and the wider community taking part.
Enjoying playtime outside their new school building, Hines School pupils have a brand new classroom after 2 years of planning and development.
It's been a long process, but we've got a great result of brand new classrooms with state-of-the-art technology. We're really looking forward to our children getting the most out of them.
Made up of 2 buildings which were used by the University of Canterbury after the 2011 earthquake, the classroom is designed to create a flexible learning environment.
So at the moment this will be the 2 senior classrooms, which is a great ability for us to combine them together or for them to be separated and spread out and create.
The school's pupils got to contribute to how the classroom would be furnished, including a green screen which can assist with video productions.
The children have had an input into the classroom by choosing the colour. They investigated through different classrooms that we went and visited, and then they designed the colour scheme, they designed what type of flooring they wanted, they designed the green screen, they wanted breakout rooms, so they worked out how they wanted those to be and how big.
The new construction also incorporates a smaller building from a nearby former school, which can now serve as a function space for the whole community.
We've incorporated the Low Cliff building, which was gifted to the school when Low Cliff closed, and that has become the communal kai room for the school and for the community to use.
It's hoped the new building will serve the school well for the next 50 years. In Hines, south of Ashburton, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. We travel to Alexandra to check out the annual Central Otago Pony Club camp, and we interview mayoral candidate Andrew Wiley.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
At Alex Campbell Menswear, we bring you the best value. We have bought a massive selection of moleskins and we're passing on the savings to you. Buy one pair, save $25. Buy two, save $60, and we've got a great deal on our knitwear. Look at it all, 25% off all our knitwear. And to go with the knitwear, what about a nice warm shirt? These are 25% off too. And while we're doing the 25% off, what about on the jackets? 25% off them as well.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So check us out for massive savings this winter.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
No Mainor, welcome back. Young riders put plenty of new skills to the test after taking part in the annual Central Otago Pony Club camp recently. The two-day event attracted 60 riders from 5 branches of the Central Otago Pony Club, venturing from as far away as Wanaka and Wakatipu for the occasion.
Riders and horses putting their best feet, or hooves, forward. As 60 riders from across Central Otago are put through their paces at the annual Central Otago Pony Club camp.
We have 6 national coaches come down, 5 National Pony Club coaches and Lucy Elford, who's an international show jumping coach.
The two-day event is being held at the Cromwell Racecourse, which Pony Club camp coordinator Lisa White says is a perfect venue, which they're aiming to use for a major competition next year.
Cromwell is an amazing venue for this camp. The ponies stay the night. This is also going to be the venue for the New Zealand Pony Club Eventing Champs in April 2020.
White says riders taking part in a variety of equestrian disciplines during the weekend-long event receive constructive feedback from the coaches.
Each rider spends 2 days here. The rider is mounted doing dressage, show jumping and cross-country and games.
There's a specialised section for first-year riders, helping children gain the confidence and skill needed to ride alone, while more experienced riders take part in a variety of workshops. with all of the riders learning how best to care for their animals.
And also then the ponies have a bit of a rest and they do horsemanship sessions, filling out their pony club cards to working towards the next pony club exams.
The Cromwell Racecourse is set to host the New Zealand Pony Club Eventing Championship in April next year. In Cromwell, the South Today.
With Dunedin's Mayor Dave Cull stepping down after serving the city for 3 terms, 14 hopefuls are vying to be elected for the role. In tonight's bulletin, OAR FM host Ian Telfer interviews candidate Andrew Wiley as to why he wants to be the mayor and where the chains of office.
Golf professional and also 2-term councillor Andrew Wiley.
Thanks, Ian. Great to be here.
Great. Well, welcome to you. Firstly, do you subscribe to the broadly climate change is happening, climate change is caused by carbon dioxide,
no, totally.
Have you got any doubts? No.
I totally support climate is changing and there are carbon issues. Not a problem. Yeah.
But you've run into people, activists, sometimes because of your stance on gas.
I get called that from certain councillors around the table that I'm a climate change denier. And that really grates me because, again, I'm really focused on my son and daughter and what lives they're going to have and around the wider globe. You know, that's the problem that I find. Here I am promoting pro-gas Otago, and it's natural gas that everybody's looking for off our coast. And I just look at that, and go, if we can take out, China wants to build 200 to 300 coal-powered energy plants. And if natural gas was discovered off our coast, how much would that improve their economy? How much would that improve their carbon emissions? We can do something a lot bigger than just for Dunedin. We can do something huge for the world.
Yeah, so you see it as a useful, do you see it as a useful end game or as a useful transition fuel, or how do you see the gas?
A classic is our Dunedin Hospital. Currently that's fuelled by coal. Now the first thing I'd love to see is get the hospital off coal and onto natural gas. To me, that's a big plus.
Interesting, cool. How do you see transport issues? Because as I say, I mean, the cities, seems like the residents are unhappy with the parking and the roads. What's that about?
My whole theme of the campaign is get Dunedin moving, and a big part of that is actually get Dunedin moving. There is a big problem with people understanding what's going to happen to our roads in Dunedin, and trying to find a park in the city is crazy. I could tell you about a business that was based at Meridian Mall. They're moving to Vogel Street. They had 12 car parks with their business at Meridian Mall. They're keeping those 12 car parks at Meridian Mall while they're moving across to Vogel Street because they can't find anything closer. It's absolutely crazy when you talk to a lot of people around town, and I mean a lot of people. I keep getting hammered on there's a lack of parking, there's no parks, they're gone. But also there's been an increase in cars. I heard today on another radio station, 70,000 cars were registered in New Zealand last year. Now, a good chunk of them we've had good growth in Dunedin. We got a lot more cars in Dunedin than we did 3 years ago.
Well, you've been on council for 6 years. I mean, have you not been part of formulating a parking policy? What's driving this?
Unfortunately, I've been on the minority side of the table on some of those issues. And the other side of that is actually, in fact, twice council has supported completely, all 15 of us have supported developments where parking was going to be involved of a new development. And unfortunately, neither of those projects have gone ahead. The key issue is we do need a new parking building in town. We do need to improve parking, but all we seem to be doing is with the cycleways, we took away a lot of parks, reallocating them, moving them around, and that's actually just not working for our residents. Yes, public transport's going to be a big part of our city going forward. But I tell you what, you talk to the mums dropping their kids off on the way to school, things like that. People have lives, and it's not a case of, okay, I'm going to go to the bus stop at 8:15, I'm going to be at work at 8:45, and I'm going to get the bus now at 5:15, I'm going to get home at 5:45. Life doesn't function like that anymore.
Right.
And that's the hardest part. We have to be adaptable.
And we'll bring you more interviews with various candidates over the next 5 weeks. You can also watch the full half-hour interview on odt.co.nz. After the break on the South Today, a Dunedin local takes issue with intercity bus shelters, and we take a look at the weather.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. We're having a massive menswear liquidation. Don't panic, it's not our liquidation. It's Munn's Menswear. They suddenly closed 6 stores throughout the country. Munn's have left their suppliers dangling and desperate to move large orders. We've come to the party. It's our biggest purchase yet. You can save up to 70%. Yes, save up to 70%. We've got strictly limited stocks at the best deals.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's a big one. South Dunedin store. Don't miss this.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. For a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chill.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Thanks for staying with us. A Dunedin resident pushing for better facilities for intercity bus passengers has taken her case to the Dunedin City Council. Anne-Marie Parsons told councillors at yesterday's DCC Public Forum she wants to see more shelter for bus passengers travelling to and from Dunedin. She's been lobbying for new shelters for intercity and atomic buses, stopping in Moray Place. Currently, there is no seating or shelter at the stop, but the Otago Regional Council says a shelter and seating will be installed within weeks. However, Parsons is concerned that any new shelter would be too small for the number of passengers who wait there. She's suggesting an alternative would be to use the underutilised shelter at Centre City New World. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. A Dunedin magnolia tree has had its blossoming tracked for 25 years, producing data which might unearth some deeper trends. The workshop of a McAndrew Bay fantasy and comic enthusiast is something of a marvel, and as he indulges in his passion for cosplay. And after a 2-year wait, a mid-Canterbury school has a new modern learning environment, bringing it into line with Ministry of Education guidelines. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We welcome Phil Somerville.
Yes. Phil. Hi Simon. Talking about Dunedin characters, it's great to have a few around, and here's Andrew Glennie, aka Motor Mower Man. He's planning to run the northbound 100 kilometres with a 20-kilogram working motor on his back. Why, you might ask? Because he can. There we go. Back to more normal news. The Jim Bolt, Queenstown Lakes Mayor, is wanting comments about the tidal wave of pupils in the Queenstown Lakes district at their schools. Wanted the Education Department needs to be proactive. Mount Aspiring College has passed 1,000 pupils, and she's really, last 10 years, I think it's about a 69% increase in pupil numbers in that district. We look at the All Blacks, of course. Steve Hepburn, a rugby writer, comments. Another rugby story, Ricky Jackson, a hooker, was playing in the semi-finals of the club competition, got a small knock on his knee, and something went wrong and ended up a month in hospital. But so there you go. The Erica Fairweather, our young swimming star, 15 gold medal at the World Junior Championships, she returned from Hungary today, so we caught up with that. Big drug raid in Balclutha and Milton, and I thought I should mention a big happening, a sad, the death of Tahu Potiki, and that's there'll be a huge event for Tākau and with his tangi.
Very good. Thanks, Phil. And now time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with today's southern view of what looks like a fun way to get downhill to the school in the morning. Looking at the situation, a cold front will bring some showers to the region later tonight and early tomorrow morning with a change to gusty, colder southwest winds that should clear during the day. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns, fresh southwesterlies and showers clearing, few folks down here. Balclutha, the Catlins, Lumsden and Gore are all due for 9 degrees. Travelling westward to the Central Lakes, you should plan for decreasing southwesterlies with showers clearing for most of you. Queenstown and Te Anau both head for 9 degrees, while Wanaka and Alexandra, you're both due to reach 10. Looking at the northern towns, light to moderate northeasterlies for all in this region. Timaru and Oamaru have a southwesterly change, bringing brief showers. Timaru should make it to 15, Oamaru 1 lower on 14. Twizel and Omarama are also set to welcome southwesterly change and brief showers. You should both have 13 degrees. In Dunedin, fine tonight with cloud increasing and overnight low of 9. A period of cloud and showers tomorrow morning as mild northwesterly winds change to colder, breezy southwest, becoming fine and sunny during the afternoon, with those southwesterlies decreasing, a high of 10 and a low of 4. Fine with cloud increasing during the day on Friday with fresh, cool westerly winds, a high of 11 and a low of 7. And finally, moving to Invercargill, showers clearing during the day tomorrow with fresh, cold southwesterlies easing. Another period of showers and squally winds tomorrow night, a high of 10 and a low of 5. Becoming fine and sunny on Friday with fresh, cool westerlies, a high of 10 and a low of 7 degrees. And that's the news this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.